Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Lee Country Outdoors. So today I'm out here in the shop. I'm reloading some 38 specials. We are reloading these. These are 105 grain flathead or flat tip bullets. These are from Slippery Bullets. This was a 1,000 round count box. It did not come in this little wooden box, by the way. It came in a plastic bag. I just had this left over from another manufacturer that does bullets, which is Acme, and I will put a link for both of those guys at the end of this video. So with cowboy shooting, this is what I've been shooting for the past few months. Upon doing this, my nephew has got involved, and he is using a pair of my revolvers, so I've resorted to a couple of my spare revolvers, and one of those I'm using the 38 Special flat nose. We are using the Winchester primers, WSP primers. These do better for me rather than the regular small pistol primers that Winchester has in the blue box. My guns do better with these. These are a little bit hotter and they perform better to me. Also, the powder I'm using is Hodgdon HP 38, and as you can see, it actually has loading data on the bottle for 38 Special, 3.7 grains, 150 grain bullet. Okay, that's Winchester case, primers Winchester SP, overall length 1.475 inches. Okay, so that's what we're using, and I actually got this from the powder I got from Four Seasons Sports in Goldsboro. I'll also put a link for those guys. They don't do any online stuff, but it's a brick and mortar store. Really good guys to deal with, good family friendly environment, and you have probably heard me mention them before on other of my YouTube videos. So today I'm wanting to switch over from the 38 Special with the lead flat nose to 38 wadcutters. Okay, I wanted a different color as far as the bullets were concerned. One for a wadcutter, one for regular shooting or regular the flat nose. Yes, you can tell them apart. That's, it's not hard to tell the difference. In fact, there's a difference in the two. The wadcutter on the left is 148 grain, and the red flat nose on the right is 105. So you can see the size difference there. These wadcutters I have been using in my 1861 Navy conversion, and I've actually got a flat bird head grip on it. This is a conversion cylinder, Howell conversion cylinder, 5.5 inch barrel. This is a 36 caliber. So I've been shooting my wadcutters out of it and have really enjoyed it. If you've got a black powder revolver and you've been thinking about getting a conversion cylinder for it, by all means. It's some of the most fun you ever have, and plus it's a whole lot less cleanup. So, and I have checked to see that the gun is unloaded, so we're good there. Anyway, so what I wanted to do was go from the 105 grain 38 Special to the 148 wadcutter. So what I had done a couple of months ago when I started shooting my 1861 conversion, I had to get my scale out and get everything redone, and instead of having to redo everything and test primers, or not test primers, but test powder measures and all this sort of grain stuff, I actually wrote me a cheat sheet. Okay, so I would suggest if you're going from, if you're going from one or the other, or you're shooting both, my suggestion is to get you a cheat sheet. This is the Modern Reloading 2nd edition by Mr. Richard Lee. It came with my 4-hole turret press, Lee full hole turret press. This machine has loaded I don't know how many countless rounds already in the 2 short years that I've been cowboy shooting. So in fact I have used it so much that this plastic bushing right here is now it doesn't spin, it doesn't index. So I've got to turn it. I've got to turn this by hand. So but that's no problem. I'm good with that. It's one of those things you don't think about. I don't, not till I get out here and start reloading. It's like, okay, yeah, I need to order that piece, and then it's out of sight, out of mind. So going with that, on the 38 Special 105 grain, what I have been doing is shooting 3.6 grains of powder, and I'm going to show you here in a minute. Let's see if we can't get focus. As you can see, there's a little white line right above the 6, and right here you see that 3, okay, and then you see the white line above the 6. So I'm doing 3.6. So what we're going to do, we're going to take, and this has already been primed, so we're going to take this, spin it around, and come up, and when you push this lever down, make sure it goes all the way down. You want to make sure you get the full charge, okay? Bring it back down. And we're going to dump it in a little tray. Okay. Now, what should happen is that arrow on the end right there should line up with the one with this. You see, it's just about there. There's a little bit of wind blowing through in my shop today. I've got my windows and my door open. So if you're doing this and you have a ceiling fan overhead, or you are like me, you got your windows open, if there's every little bit of breeze coming in, then it will affect the scale. I did not think it would, and I was in my shop and I had my fan going. We're gonna measure this one more time. I had my fan going, and it was blowing all around, and I was getting frustrated, and it was bouncing back and forth, and so I was really getting frustrated with it. You see that air is a little bit over, so we're going to weigh it one more time. Now I know this is some bad camera work. I'm working by myself today as far as my camera work goes. Okay. Try to get that pan still as you can. And you see that's right on line. There's no breeze now, so there was a breeze when it went up to about 3.8. So I'm bumping 3.6. I'm doing 3.6 right now on the 38 Special 105 grain. Okay, and what I've done, I've just poured that back in there. So when I want to reload the 38 wad cutters, what I need to do is I go back to my cheat sheet, and I actually have it in. I already have it in the book. It's already marked 38 Special, and you'll come down here and you'll see 148 grain wad cutter. We're using HP 38. It says 3.5 grains is your start grains, and your ending grains is 4. Never exceed 4 grains right there. So when I started reloading these things, I was doing a little bit shy of 3.5, and it was shooting a little high, so I backed off to 3.0. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you what I have done to rectify a lot of measuring and back and forth, and maybe this will help you in the future. I've got my cheat sheet here. So the powder measure, we're starting at, mine's at 3.6. I have here 3.7. I have adjusted it since then. So the key I'm talking about or referring to is this little key right here. Okay, this is a little key. All right, we're going to pull it out. You notice there's a little notch right there. There's a little tip. I can skim it with my thumb. It's like a little knot right there. Okay, so pull it out. Pull this out, and it's a little bit stiff. So see, the groove is lined up with this little tip right here. Okay, so what I've got wrote down is that Lee is on the left side, and what I mean by that is when I turn it over, you'll see the word Lee. Let me flip it up for you. You'll see the word Lee. Okay, so that was on the left side. So what we want to do, I want to keep it there. Also, if you'll notice, on this little key, there are flat sides all the way around. There are 10 flat sides on this key. So, you could pretty much say this is 0.1, 0.2, 0.8, 0.9, whatever. So, slip it back in there. We're going to slip it back in there the same way it was. Okay? And you can see a little bit of that groove, or that little bit of hole in that key right sticking out, and it's right along that tip. Okay? So, what we want to do is we want to turn it to the right 6 flat sides. Okay? So from here, from this little tip, what we're going to do is we're going to count off 6 flat sides. It's already on one flat side. And we're going to go to the right. And going to the right, what it does, it makes this threaded piece right here, it goes up in this drum, and it reduces the powder charge that's coming out of here, out of your powder reservoir. Okay, so let's go ahead and count. We're going to do it 6 times. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we see that Lee, there's a shadow right here, sorry about that, but Lee, the word Lee that was on this key is now facing me, not directly, because we've gone just over halfway. Okay, so what we're going to do is, with that being done, we're going to I'm going to prime 2 more casings, and then what we'll do, we'll have 3 that we can go by. Okay, so we've already got the one. And also, let me say this: when you're reloading, if you're new to reloading, and by no means I'm no pro, so if you're new to reloading, make sure when you clean your brass or you're de-priming, you look at your brass and make sure there's no splits or cracks like this. Okay. Upon cleaning my brass, I was de-priming and I was looking at everything. I actually cleaned it and then handled each casing one at a time and checked to make sure there's no cracks or splits. Somehow this one got by me, and I don't know how, but upon loading this, I put the primer in, and when I put the powder charge in, when I pulled the handle down, it felt different than what the other ones had. I can't really explain how it felt different, but upon pulling it out and looking at it, I discovered it was split. So that casing there is no good. That's going to go in the scrap bucket with the other pieces. And I think I had like 5 or 6 that were split from the last cowboy shoot I went to last month. So this one here got by me. So make sure you're checking these things and not just loading them up, because you don't want that thing to blow out while it's inside your gun and rifle or pistol, and then it mess up your gun or hurt you in any way. So we don't want that. We want to keep all our fingers and extremities so we can keep playing this game. Okay. So I just want to throw that out there. So let's get 2 more cases, and these cases they're Winchester, they're Federals, they're Starline brass, they're whatever. It's some that I've had, some that I've shot, and I'm not partial to anything. You know, whatever's cheaper on the shelf that was factory ammunition when I can get my hands on it, especially during the COVID time a few years ago, I would grab what I could. So this brass is everything. When I go to the range, if I find any 38 special on the ground, I'll grab it. You know, if it's not if it's not split or anything, it comes home. That way, that's less expensive. I don't have to buy any brass. So far, I have not had to buy any brass at all. Okay, we're going to seat that primer that primer is now seated. So we've got 2. All right, there's the last one. And like I said, these are Winchester WSP primers. So push the handle forward, seat that, bring it up. Okay, we've got a third one seated. Okay, now with that being done, we are going to turn our press. Okay, we are now ready to send some powder down. Okay, all the way down. And what this does, this first stage, well, your first stage is actually your deprimer right here. It deprimes. Okay, and I do this prior to cleaning my brass. That way, where the primer sits, it's clean there also, so it don't gum up over time. Okay, your second stage right here is where your powder reservoir is. It also, when it goes up, it actually swells this case a little bit. That way your bullet will fit in there better. It won't fit right on top. It swedges it some. It also drops the powder down. Okay, so let's do this right here. We want to, let's go ahead and get these other 2 done. Okay, so we've got 2 and 3. Okay. All right, so now we've got 3 casings. And now what we're going to do is, I'm going to take this off for a minute. So what we're wanting to do now is get this little line that's on the 6, and we want to put it back to 0. So we're wanting to take this and put it right on 3. So I don't know if you see it, but you see the line. Well, I didn't want to focus now. The line is on 0, you just can't see that. You also see where it says grains at the bottom of this. It is right on the 3. That little arrow right above the N, as you can see, it's right under the 3. Okay, so we're at 3.0. So let's put this, put our pan back on there. Okay, all right, now we're going to dump the powder in there. We're going to get this thing still. Okay, let's see how close we are. Okay, that's pretty much right. I'm happy with that. All right, that's one of them. I'm gonna pour that back in the bottle. So let's go with the second one. Okay. That pan's moving just a hair, so it's going to wobble a little bit. Okay. Okay, that's good there. So we're going to go one more. Okay. This is our third one. You never want to do just one. Try to do 3 at least. Okay, that's pretty close. We could actually increase this a little bit. We could actually turn it a little bit to let one click on one side to the left, so it would have more powder coming out. So let's just do that. And let's see what we got now, just for kicks and giggles. How about that? Let's just see where we're sitting. Okay, that's right on the money right there. So let's do another one. Let's do another drop. Let's empty this. That's just over. So we're gonna leave it like that. So we're doing about 3.0, 3.1 grains per casing. That is less than what the recommended charge is. Okay, so now we've got our powder charge set up. We're ready to go here. Okay, we've got about a half a reservoir full because I've already loaded some today. So we're ready to go here. Now, the next step you want to think about is your wad cutter. Let me move my scale out of the way. Your wad cutter is going to sit inside the casing. Okay, so we got to go from this to this. The overall length has gone down at least 1/4 inch. Okay, to maybe 3/8 of an inch. So on my cheat sheet, what I have done, and this cheat sheet is by trial and error. Okay, so bullet seating, wad cutter, with the mark to me, turn to the right 5 1/4 turns. Now the mark I'm referring to is a mark that I've done. All it is a Sharpie. I marked it here in front of me. That way it was easier to keep up with. So we want to turn it 5 1/4 turns to the right. Okay, so we're going to do that now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/4. Okay, 5 1/4. Okay, now that is going to give me the proper depth as far as seating this wad cutter. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and load these 3 up that we've got primed, and we'll see how it turns out. I'm not going to shoot anything today. That was not the purpose of this video. The purpose of the video was to show you how I done it and how it makes it easier for me to go from 38 special lead flat nose to a 38 wad cutter. Okay, so we've already got it primed. We're going to use the same 3 we had a while ago. Okay, so let's turn this jewel. There's our powder charge, and I'm going to turn this. Okay, we are at our 3rd stage now where it's going to seat the bullet. So we're going to come right here. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get 3 more out or 2 more out. That way we'll have them right handy. I won't have to keep going back and forth with the camera. Okay, so when you run it up this powder charge, like I said, it swedges the casing to where you can put the casing in there like this. Okay, it's not sitting on the very top, rim. These are actually the same on both ends. So there's, however you want to do it. I mean, they're the same. They're the exact same on both ends. So it doesn't matter. There is no up or down, whatever. So either way will be fine. So what we're going to do, we're going to run it up, push it in, make sure that handle goes all the way down. All right, when we come down, that bullet should be just inside. So you can see a little bit of the brass right above the wad cutter. Should be just below the rim of your cartridge. And then what we're going to do is do a crimp. And that crimp very nicely. Okay. And there we have a wad cutter. So let's do 2 more. Let's get her spinning around. Okay. Here's our powder charge. And these cases have already been primed. This is the ones I was using a while ago. Okay, spin this. Let's put our wad cutter on there. Okay. All the way up. And it's a little bit, you'll feel it's a little bit different versus a lead flat nose, because you're pushing that bullet down in the case. So it's a little bit stiffer pushing it down than what it is here. But that's nothing to worry about. Okay. So there we go with that one. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Give it a powder charge again. And I will say this, if this thing is not lined up, in fact, I'll show you right here. If it is not lined up, if it's off just a little bit, what's going to happen is it's going to come out here and it's not going to go in. Okay? So what you're going to have to do is push it over a little bit. And it happens when you're pulling shells in and out, and you're putting shells in to prime. I've had a few where I didn't push them in there quite far enough and the primer wouldn't go up in there. Just don't force it. Don't force it at all. Just back off your handle a little bit and make sure that your casing is all the way over, and then go with it. And if that primer still doesn't want to go in that casing, take that casing out and see what's going on, because there's something else in there that you didn't see or you didn't catch during the cleaning process. Okay, that's our bullet seating, and now for our crimp, and there we go. So 3 wad cutters ready to go, and I'm going to load a few more, but I just wanted to show you guys what helps me. This is a quick go-to. Write you a cheat sheet. I'm sure some of you guys out there do, but just make you a cheat sheet, and I keep mine right here in my reloading book, right here with the 38 special, and that way I can go right to it. Okay, this book is great. I've read some of it, not all of it, but the reloading data is spot on. You can tweak it to whatever you want to. Like I said, my conversion was shooting a couple of inches high, and I backed it off to 3.0. Well, I'm sorry, it was shooting about 4 inches high, and I backed it off to 3.0. It still shoots a couple of inches high, which is fine with me. As close as targets are for cowboy shooting, if you're aiming in the middle, you're going to hit it with this gun, even if it is shooting 2 inches high. So, and I say again, if you have a black powder firearm and you're thinking about getting a conversion cylinder, by all means, it's a blast. So, once again, slippery bullets. These are 148 grain wad cutters. This is a 200 count bag. And also the 105 grain lead flat nose, also from slippery bullets. If you order 1,000, I think they have a promo deal. If you order 1,000 bullets, it's free shipping. These right here that I've got, there's not 1,000 here now because I've already reloaded and shot some, but they were like 80 bucks, and that was free shipping. So that's tough to beat, guys. Winchester primers, WSP primers, HP 38, and the Lee 4-hole turret press. So also we had the Lee safety powder scale. There's YouTube videos on how to use this. I actually had to go to YouTube and find out how to use this thing. Guy was great. I can't remember the guy's name. I liked his video, but it was very instructional, not hard at all. So if you get a chance, go on to YouTube and look up this safety powder scale by Lee. There's a couple of guys there that it's not complicated at all, but they will show you flat out how to do it. It's simple. No ifs, ands, or buts. So we're going to go ahead and reload some more. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button, please. And feel free to comment. Even if it is good or bad, it doesn't matter to me. If it's bad, I can improve. If it's good, hey, great. So I hope you guys have a great day. Join us next time for another video. I'll probably have another one next week, if not before, about some stuff that we're doing that we use for camping and when we go on the river and kayak. So anyway, you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching. See you next time.